What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So tomorrow will be the final day of the $250 or $300 child tax credit payments. Today, the Senate passed the debt ceiling alongside party lines. Today, Senator Joe Manchin and President Biden spoke again, and I'll address kind of what happened there. And Pfizer says that their COVID pill is nearly 90% effective in their final analysis. So, first off, hopefully you guys have had an incredible day. But let's get to the updates for today. First, tomorrow is going to be the final day of the $250 or $300 child tax credit payments. If you remember, when Democrats passed the American Rescue Plan, when this passed, it included a child tax credit payment advance. The payment advance, first off, it went from a $2,000 per year per child tax credit to bumping that up to either $3,000 for a child between the ages of 6 and 17 or $3,600 per year for a child between the ages of 0 and 5. Well, those payments started in July. They were going to go for a full 6 months. That will be tomorrow. That will be the final day. And the rest of the 6 months of payments, you have to file your 2021 tax return in order to receive those. Now, here's what you need to keep in mind. Multiple lawmakers believe that this is one of the pieces of legislation in the entire Build Back Better Act that cannot expire. This has to be extended at some point. And I addressed this the other day, that this could ultimately turn into a potentially standalone bill that would pass alongside be a bipartisan bill. And the reason I said this is because multiple Republicans believe this is a good bill. This is a good thing to have. So, the expectation at this point is experts are anticipating millions of children are going to fall back into poverty if this provision is not extended for at least one more year. So here's what many people are predicting. The predictions are that if the Build Back Better Act gets delayed, and my guess is these payments will ultimately be delayed at least 1 month. They will at least be delayed 1 month, and we could potentially see payments restart again in February. But here's what I want to address. What's being discussed is if we can't get the Build Back Better Act to pass because of high inflation numbers, right? Then the expectation is we'd see a standalone bill for this, okay? For the child tax credit payments. It may not be as much as $3,600. Maybe a little bit smaller. There could be a work requirement included, but it would at least keep many children out of poverty or going back into poverty. So that's the expectation at this time. Also today, the Senate passed the debt ceiling alongside party lines. This is going to raise the debt ceiling $2.5 trillion. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, is this a good thing or not? Here's the problem. By raising the debt ceiling $2.5 trillion, their estimates as of right now are that the debt ceiling cliff will come up again sometime in 2023. So this will get lawmakers past at least the midterm elections, and then they can decide what they want to do at that point. But this means we're pretty much going to buy ourselves like a year and a half before we have to address the debt ceiling once again. So we'll see what happens there. What I can tell you though is right now Republicans they're pretty much forcing Democrats to do a debt ceiling increase on their own. That's why they pretty much got rid of the filibuster for that one time purpose of passing the debt ceiling increase. They did this because Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell thought this was a good idea. Here's the problem. If we get to 2023 and let's say we still see a decent amount of inflation, which I'm not predicting, but we could. If we still see a decent amount of inflation, we see a lot of people are struggling. And if this happens, chances are we're not going to get much of an increase from Republicans at least. Democrats could try, but then it's going to depend on who controls the House and the Senate. So we'll see what happens there. We also know today, Senator Joe Manchin and President Biden spoke again. This time, according to Manu Raju, who's a CNN correspondent, he said that Manchin told him that President Biden didn't convince him to get any bit closer to his Build Back Better Act, which means the Build Back Better Act at $1.75 trillion, potentially up to $3 trillion added to our national deficit. This could happen. Okay, just keep in mind, this could happen if the entire provision or entire bill and all the provisions get extended for a full 10 years. But Senator Joe Manchin said that negotiations are still ongoing. Two of the main differences at this time are actually over the child tax credit payments. Those are one of them. The score and the true cost of this bill. Again, $1.75 trillion is acceptable to Senator Joe Manchin, at least according to reports. But if it doesn't stop there and it goes from $1.75 trillion up to potentially $2.5 or $3 trillion, that's where Senator Joe Manchin says, nope, I draw the line right there. We will not be addressing this bill. So that's what we know regarding the Build Back Better Act. Let's also talk about what Pfizer says, because Pfizer says that their COVID pill is nearly 90% effective in their final analysis. Now, recent lab data actually suggests that it retains its effectiveness against the Omicron variant, which is very good. Pfizer's chief scientific officer did state that he believes the FDA will provide authorizations to them very soon. Now, I just want to be very clear. This Pfizer pill, it's not a magical pill. This is not a substitute for the vaccine. This pill, the purpose of this is actually just to help minimize the effects of COVID and prevent hospitalizations. That's the purpose of the pill. Now, according to multiple health officials, a sudden increase in the Omicron cases will happen at some point. And one official said, everything is pointing to a larger wave. A large wave is coming. He also goes on to state, it will be fast, it won't be as severe, but there will be plenty of hospitalizations. So, here's what I want to leave you with. Currently, lawmakers are trying to figure out how do they get more into the hands, into the pockets, into the bank accounts of the American people. Right now, everybody has an idea, but nobody has come to a consensus and thought, you know what, that's good, let's go with that. So here's the problem, and I actually addressed this in 2 videos today. The first video I did this morning, I addressed how lawmakers are looking into that $2,000 amount and providing $2,000 to the American people. And that would be on a monthly basis. However, it's not a stimulus check. It would be an accumulative amount, which would maybe include the child tax credit payments, child care credits. It could include some savings from Medicare, right? Now, these $2,000 per month, now not everybody's going to get every single one of these benefits. You're not going to get Medicare, Social Security, the child tax credit payments, the child care credits, right? You're not going to get an EV credit, right? So there's all these things that they're $2,000. Yeah, they may be there, but every individual might only qualify for, a few hundred here, 500 there, 600, 200, 100, right? So it bounces around. But keep this in mind. Lawmakers are still discussing multiple ways to provide assistance to the American people. Now, I just want to warn you guys, what's going to happen is if we see more lawmakers push for additional assistance, what's going to happen, and we've already seen this because it's already happening with the child tax credit payments, is if lawmakers continue to push for this stuff, if the American people rely 100% on these payments and then eventually they pull them away, or if, and I'll just use this as an example because they've already discussed this, is Democrats are saying if you vote for us, we will extend the child tax credit payments. If you vote Democrat, we will send you a $2,000 stimulus check, right? We've heard those. We've heard those before. And so that's where you get stuck in this trap is, oh, you know what? I have to vote Democrat because I'm relying on these payments. I know Republicans aren't going to vote for it, so I have to vote Democrat in this upcoming midterm election. That's what we're going to start to see. Now, I'm not saying go and vote Democrat. I'm not saying go and vote Republican. I'm just telling you that is what many people expect. And I can tell you right now, we've already seen it. So Just do not rely 100% on these payments if you can, and then you can pretty much vote whoever you want, right? It leaves these doors open, more opportunities. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.